All right, guys. Welcome to another NFT Art Galaxy, where we are exploring all corners of the universe, right? I said corners. I don't know if there are, but hey, it's definitely not a flat earth. Anyway, today we have Devin with us of the Gif Economy, which is something that I stumbled across and am really interested in learning more about. And I think the entire NFT community can benefit from it. So welcome, Devin. Welcome.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's exciting. So yeah, we're a auction house, sales house on the Algorand blockchain. Pretty far and away the best blockchain, in my opinion, right? Super fast, super cheap to transact on. And those are the two things that we were looking for, right? Because as far as like the NFT space, we think the thing that's going to push it forward is the ability to experiment, right? And if we're on like, if we're on Ethereum or we're on like Solana, some of the fees can kind of create a barrier to like messing around, right?
Yep.
But when the transaction fee is like a fraction of a penny, right? You're more willing to take risks. You're more willing to kind of like experiment with the medium. And that's what we try to kind of empower the artists to do here. We give them kind of like a tool set as far as, so this is our landing page. We go down here, right? These are some of the things that we offer, just kind of like as proprietary features, right? So I'm a musician myself, based out of Boston, which is kind of, the Boston connection was part of the Algorand thing. I went to a school called New England Conservatory that has like a lot of sharing programs with MIT. So I'd kind of like entered the space then.
Oh, sweet.
And kind of it just blossomed from there. So we offer, as you can see, like audio support for everything. We have like a little proprietary little player just because like, it's going to show up as like the QuickTime player most of the time, right?
Okay.
Like if you just have an audio file on most auction sites, it just comes up with that little thing. So we just made one, make it nice. We have unlockable content, which is a cool little feature that my coder Jason came up with. Is basically, so you buy an NFT, right? And one of the things that people kind of struggle with outside of the community, right, are I can still look at the thing, right, even if I don't own it, right? Which is, that's not necessarily, there are problems with that way of thinking, but we had a kind of a direct way of solving it, which is we include in a lot of our pieces content that is only available if you own the NFT, right? So like, let me show you an example. I'm gonna go into my gallery right here. I think I should have, I gotta sign in. How do I move this little window? Yeah. Right, so we have two things here, right? You can see my wallet's connected here, but what we want actually, because I'm one of the artists, we got to sign in, and now you'll see, boom. Now my wallet's connected, right? I can go over in my gallery. Look at a couple of my people. Yeah, here we go. I should have a couple. Yep. So if we look right here, this is another feature we actually have. We have a live streaming server, so we can sell tickets to anything. We've done a few of those. We've done like raffles and stuff, live concerts, right? So this is just a test for that. But if you look in here, right? So we have this little demonstration of actually, so we also have a VR gallery for anyone. You can like check out the VR stuff. You look at, whatever's in your gallery is a thing. That's still coming along, but it does work now, right? If you click on this unlockable content, right? It's going to come up. It's opening in the new tab because I'm doing the screen share, right? But it has me opt into the asset, right? And this is basically signing a dummy transaction.
Okay.
What it does, right? It's just proving that I own the NFT, and then boom, the unlockable content comes up. Now, this is just a test, so the unlockable content is just a blank page, right? But you can put basically any file type in there, right? I use it a lot on my music ones.
Okay.
And I'll put the sheet music in there, right, as a way of kind of trying to foster collaboration and stuff. Here's a good example of that one. This is the one I was looking for. So like, this right here, right? This is Gif Solo #1. We did a promo a while back of just kind of like a music video, right? And then we sent it out to other artists, gave them the sheet music, and they made kind of their own things, right? So we did unlockable content.
Nice.
Yeah, you can like load up the PDF. I don't think it's, yeah, there we go. Boom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right.
So you got the music just like locked behind the NFT.
Yeah, exactly, right. And it's a way of kind of like trying to start like kind of collaborations, right? I work a lot with, I don't know if you're familiar with Mateus Trinley and like Middle Doug and those dudes.
Yep, a little bit. Yep, yep.
Yeah. We kind of collaborate on some stuff. Me and Middle Doug have a couple tracks that we plan on coming out.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's one of the other features.
Yeah. I saw Middle Dog in his spaces, and I was like, "We got to make an intro for my videos."
Oh, dude, yeah, he's
like, yeah.
totally on that boom bap hip hop. He's got that like locked in, so good. Yeah, well, so like the last feature we have that I don't think we touched on was we do. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I'm dragging this little boy. We support 3D models, right? You can like manipulate them and stuff. Just kind of trying to cover like whatever. I think of NFTs, right? We think of it a lot as like the value proposition, right? Which is super important, right? And that's like the thing that's been fleshed out the most, I think, in the field, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the thing that's going to give it kind of like the long-term thing is treating it as like a new medium of art, right? Like we talk a lot, and I don't want to get too like art school pretentious here, but they kind of talk a lot about in the art world that like the vessels that we consume art in, right? Like you have like storytelling, you have music, you have like visual art, right? Those are like genres of art, right? And the mediums, the way we package and consume that changes through our society, right? Like our society reflects the art we make and vice versa, right? So like the classic example is the novel, right? Like the novel got huge in the Industrial Revolution because people were suddenly living kind of like solitary lives for the first time, right? Storytelling before that was like an oral tradition mostly, right? Or like the long form like story that you could appreciate alone, like maybe in like a sad city apartment in the 1800s, right? It was like part of that, right? I think the NFT is that for us, right? And there's a lot of reasons for that, right? You could say we live kind of in the age of distraction. A lot of people have made that argument, right? The NFT like cuts through that, right? Because it's something that, first of all, you paid for, right? And people will always pay more attention to what you pay for.
Yeah.
But it's also like a digital framing, right? It can be any kind of media in any combination, right? And it's not coming through some of the platforms that we use to package things now, right? And just that fact makes people pay attention to the art more. And I think if that's the thing that if we can unlock for artists is going to be very rewarding, right? Because there's this strong feeling a lot of the time that there's like this marketplace of attention, right, with art, and it seeps into the art, right? Like if you listen to a lot of music producers doing like those those kind of like tutorials, they'll talk about how you need to add something that keeps the person's attention like every 4 bars.
Yeah.
What if you don't want to do that, right? What if your art like it kind of like boxes those artists in, and I think this is a way of almost like freeing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, makes people more relevant. They can express themselves any way they want to be expressed. But yeah, I mean, I think you're totally right about the medium, how it's changing. I mean, you can use all different examples, just even from like, motion pictures and television to kind of how it kind of evolved on how people used to consume it, right? Going to the movies. Now, most people aren't going to the movies, right? It's all in like digital form.
You're so right. Like try to explain the idea of a film, right, to like a person in 1900, they wouldn't know what you're talking about, right? But it's like totally in it, like it's like part of the cultural shorthand, like film, right?
Yeah.
So like it didn't exist 50 years ago. I think the NFT is going to be something like that, right? Whether it's like generative music, like a piece of music that like you have through a machine learning protocol that just plays a piece infinitely, right? Like it'll mimic a musician's decision making, right, in his style of play, and just play that infinitely, right? Or like, you know, visual sculptures that like are in VR that are physically impossible to build, right? That are just like insanely massive, right? Things like that, things we haven't thought of yet, you
Yeah.
know? Like that's where we're going.
Yeah, man, I like your vision. So I mean, I see it's an artist driven NFT marketplace. So that's kind of, um, I guess you're filling in all the cracks and crevices, you know, left from some of the different, you know, galleries and places and spots that you can, you know, mint, I guess, NFTs, right?
Yeah. And like the plurality of it. So that's kind of the paradox, right, of this decentralized way of building out a thing, right? Is it can basically be free, right? Like it's any marketplace is just offering like an interface for the blockchain, right? To actually like add kind of value, right? Like you need to add more value as a middleman than you would in a traditional set, right? And I think every marketplace is sort of finding their niche, right? And we're all kind of doing different things, right? Like if you look at like Rand Gallery, the way that they're set up and the way that they have sort of like almost like personal stores,
Yeah.
right? And the way that they can do like shuffles and stuff, like they're offering things that like no one else is, right? And Dart Room's offering stuff that no one else is, and we're offering stuff that no one else is. I think like that's the way forward for decentralized things. Like there's like a whole ton of storefronts and not like one Spotify or one like Instagram type thing, you know?
So is there like a certain NFT artist or type that you're actually looking for? Like, so I know, so I'm not really creating NFTs myself. I mean, I took some photos and played around on some different sites, just minting stuff. And now I'm gonna do some drops with my grandfather's
I saw that, man. That
art,
stuff
which is really
really
cool,
beautiful.
really exciting. So I'm actually gonna drop um some on Rand, kind of do the first book on Rand, but there's just so many different places and spots where you can go and kind of something you can do, you know, reverse auctions, you can go to, you know, all these, like you said, the dark room, Zesplum. So it's, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people kind of spread themselves into these different areas, and the AB2 is also there as well, except people
Yeah, of
aren't
course. Yeah, I
getting
didn't even
verified.
mention the auction house right now.
So it's like, is there, you know, specific advice you'd give to an artist looking to kind of say use the GIF economy as opposed to using, you know, a competitor? I guess is it even a competitor? I don't know.
No, I feel like yeah. So we offer, you know, we've integrated our minting just like everyone else. We offer, you know, all these files, make it pretty easy.
Wow.
This guy, we have it set up right now so that like it doesn't do a freeze address. We just like, you know, it cuts it out, right? Because that's a thing that people are like, they're freezing the clawback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Set up so we don't have addresses like that. Just kind of making it set up so it's like not crazy complicated to someone who's never done it before, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we got that. As far as the type of NFTs that do well on our platform, the kind of things that like we're looking for, things that are like intersections of genres are big for us. So like, you know, like small music videos, right? 3D things that maybe will morph over a long period of time, right? Really anything that anyone wants to try, right? That's really our credo.
Cool.
You know, that's like the thing we're going for more than anything else. And we have like a collaboration program that we try to match visual and 3D artists with musicians.
Okay.
We've had a couple like quite successful one-of-ones. We did one with this Israeli animator Donna Roth called Respect the Loop that did really quite well. And yeah, a few others as well. We have this dude John Tyler Kent who plays, I don't know if you're familiar with the instrument, the Chapman stick.
I am not, no.
So it's like this weird, it's famous from like the Talking Heads. It's like a guitar that you only tap and it has like
Okay.
a bunch of extra strings.
Wow.
He's been doing a lot of like kind of like musical scores for like imaginary scenes that are really beautiful. Yeah, we're looking for the weirdos, man.
That's awesome.
That's what we want. What our formatting, right? So if we look at the listings, I haven't even right. It's sort of set up in a way that is not super conducive to collections,
Okay.
right? That's a niche that I think AB has filled admirably, incredibly well, right? So we don't super offer that. We are thinking about supporting it, specifically a project that my partner Jason, I think you're probably going to talk to about. He's doing his own independent project where he has built basically a script to create kind of like the randomized serialized one of ones that are very popular as collectibles, right?
Yep.
He basically like built an interface to do that.
Yeah.
It's super impressive. It's so cool. So we're thinking of integrating that in a way that would keep it very clean and like on an artist's profile, like if you were to launch a collection, right? Because the issue now would be like, well, the front page gets swarmed, right?
Right.
We're gonna have it set up so that it's kind of like artist by artist.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I do see you do have an artist tab too. So
yes, we do as well. So yeah, and I'll bring you. So like if I go to like, I love this dude's pineapples. I was really hoping he was gonna. So this dude's Samari. He's on like a whole bunch of different sites as well. He's on AB2. He's on. I think he's on Dartroom as well. He's definitely on Rand. He does like the AI pineapples and a couple of super dope.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen them, so that's pretty cool.
Like it's mine, right? And it just so it brings you down. I'm mostly just doing sales right now. So it's got them all right. But if I had any open auctions, they would be under here as well. So it separates it. We also have just like a tip jar thing, and that's for every artist.
Okay, cool.
Because sometimes
why not?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Good to have the option.
Is there cost to make the like, or is there like a charge or?
Yeah, completely charge free right now. We want to keep the basic minting free always. I think it's sort of like a ethical question for us, right? To keep the decentralized thing. The things that we are planning to maybe charge a small fee in the future, and it would be like a flat fee of like half an algo or something, like not like an art gallery cut, that you're traditionally for if you're using some of our proprietary things, like if you're using the 3D modeler or you like the unlockable content, stuff like that.
Okay.
Maybe charging like an upcharge on that, but it's the added value thing that I was talking about, right? Like we don't want to charge people just to interface with the blockchain. We think that's kind of
right. Yeah.
Flies in the face of sort of the whole
yeah, I mean you could do it, obviously you do it, but your user interface makes it easier to do as well. Those, I mean, that's true as well. Is value there.
As much as I love Algo Desk,
So very cool. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you walking us through this, and I can
appreciate you having me, man.
Kind of excited to kind of see where you take it, because I think you're definitely adding a lot of different things that aren't being offered in different places and spots. So I think this is really cool.
Thank you kindly, man. Yeah. And yeah, we're on Discord, Gif Economy, like everyone, pop on into Matthias's Discord as well. A whole bunch of cool stuff on there. Nifty Art Republic, got to shout them out, yeah, and of course check us out as well.
Nice. Any parting words to all the NFT listeners out there on all those different blockchains?
We all gonna make it. Oh no, the Algo guys are all gonna make it. Can't speak for the Tezoses and Avalanches of the world, but thank you.
Well, I've really appreciated having you on. I mean, do you have a Twitter as well, or?
We do, yes. The Gif Economy 1. I believe Knobs with Devin.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll put that stuff in the show notes so you can go follow Devin and check out the Gif Economy. But thanks again, and guys, like the video, share the video, check it out, watch it again. But until next time, really, really appreciate it, Devin. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you, man.